What's going on, guys? It's your boy DJ Nova Green here, and it has been a freaking while, huh? I have some stuff going on with my life right now, guys, and it needs my attention more than this right now. But don't be worried. I'm always gonna come back, guys. I'm always gonna come out with another video. I mean, just because I'm gone for like what seems to be a long time doesn't mean that I'm stopping YouTube. No, it's not. I probably won't stop YouTube for like another like 30 years. I don't know, depends how far I make it. But anyways, guys, for sure that no matter how long I take off, it doesn't mean I'm done with YouTube. I'm still gonna make videos. It may take a while, but I'm still gonna make videos. All right. I just have a lot of stuff going on with my life. Anyways, though, here for Halloween, I'm gonna read you guys some Creepypasta, and I'm gonna show you guys a new costume that I made. So yeah, it's better than it's absolutely better than the last one that I made last year. So I'm really excited to show you guys. And let's go ahead and do that before I get into reading. And stay tuned for the end, because I have my own story, some story experience that happened to me when I was little to tell you guys. So be sure to stick around for the end. All right. And let's go ahead and jump into my costume. Alright, guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed my new costume that I made. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below, and other than that, let's go ahead and jump right into some of these Creepypasta stories. Let's do it. I'm ready to get scared. You ready to get scared? I'm ready to get scared. I'm already scared. Okay. This one's called "Can I Stay in Your Room?" Mommy, can I stay in your room tonight? The walls won't stop staring at me. I sigh and roll out of bed. There's nothing in your room. Go back to sleep. But they won't stop staring. Come on. I take Will by the hand and guide him back to his room. Walls can't see, Will. They don't have eyes. Mine do. They do. And they keep looking at me. We cross the threshold of his doorway, and I set him up on the bed. Pictures of family, past and present, are hung clustered around the room. See, look. Will points to one of the pictures across from his bed, a large portrait of his great-great-grandmother, long deceased. Due to the way the picture was taken, she seems to stare at whatever the picture faces, in this case, Will's bed. That's just an old picture. I can't change that it looks like she's staring. Can you take it down, please? I sigh. Sure. I reach to pull down the old portrait. Her eyes slowly lock with mine. Ooh, so the painting is alive. The painting actually does follow you. Actually does look at you. Okay, that was pretty good. I like that one. Short and good. I like creepypasta stories that are like that. Short and like good. All right. Anyways, okay, on to the next one. This one's called "Come Out Wherever You Are." There was a hospital that once stood at the end of the street where I live. It was a hospital for children who had illnesses that could not be cured. My grandmother was a nurse there in the late 1940s and early 50s. She adored the children, despite their alignments. She had a friend who also adored the children. Her friend, Rosaline Frederick, who would bring fresh baked pies from her home and ask the children if they wanted to play games. The children loved games, especially when it involved a special reward. If one of the children would beat Rosalie in the game, they would have the pie first before dinner. If they did not, Rosalie would eat it all by herself. Of course, it was not true. Rosalie allowed the children to beat her in a game. One day in the autumn of 1953, Rosalie brought her signature chocolate pie for the children. Let's play hide and seek, she said to them. My grandmother insisted that they stay indoors as the weather had been rainy and the ground was still muddy. Rosalie said she would count to 50 and the children would hide and try to beat Rosalie by getting to the safe spot in the kitchen where the pie was. Rosalie began to count to 50, and she heard the children run to their hiding spots. Once she finished counting, she began to look for them. She checked their rooms and any other hiding spot while saying, come out, wherever you are." Rosalie searched the bottom level and decided to check the top floor. The hospital had 2 floors, but the second floor was not being used as it was going through repairs. Rosalie was sure the children would hide there as there were many hiding places. She went to the second floor where there were many scaffoldings that the repairmen used to redo the walls and doors. The repairmen were not coming in on this day as it was a Saturday. She checked the first few rooms, but no children. She didn't notice that that one of the scaffoldings was not properly set up. It was holding heavy wooden boards and it would not hold any longer. Rosalie walked under the scaffolding and checked the room there. No children. She called out, come out, wherever you are." Suddenly, the scaffolding collapsed on top of her, their heavy wooden boards crushing her. The children and my grandmother waited patiently for Rosalie to find them. They were excited to have chocolate pie to eat before dinner. They waited a long time, and one of them decided to rush to the kitchen, and the other children followed. My grandmother got really worried when Rosalie didn't show. She and the children waited for her in the kitchen. "Can we have a bite?" one of the children asked. "Let's wait a few minutes," my grandmother said, and so they waited. When it started getting late and dinner was getting ready, my grandmother decided to go look for Rosalie. She asked the cook to keep watch over the children while she went to look. My grandmother checked everywhere on the first floor, but no Rosalie. My grandmother knew something was wrong. Her best friend was never into pranks. She then thought of the second floor, but she was told to not let the children go up there as it was not safe. She went up there anyway. She found the collapsed scaffolding, and to her horror, she saw her crushed body of her best friend, Rosalie Frederick. Emergency personnel arrived, but it was already too late to save Rosalie. The children were heartbroken over the death of their beloved playmate. Rosalie's body was set in a closed casket as it was too horrific to look at. Her funeral was held on the hospital grounds, and the children and my grandmother attended. My grandmother decided to leave the hospital on Christmas. She bid farewell to the children and said she would pray for their health. Before she left, she went to the second floor where her best friend was killed. She bid farewell, but she told me as soon as she turned around to leave, she heard a familiar voice. She wouldn't say whose voice it was, as she was too afraid to say it. Ooh. A few years before the hospital was set to be torn down, my friends and I decided to check it out. The doors were left unlocked, and to explorers who came earlier, we checked the first floor. The beds were still in the rooms, and the kitchen had some rotten food that the rodents refused to eat. We then checked the second floor. My grandmother told me the hospital decided to reopen the second floor following Rosalie's death. There was a cold breeze coming in and a chill went down my spine. Then we heard a woman's voice. Come out, wherever you are." I noticed that my friend's face turned white. "Did you hear that?" one of them asked. The voice came again. Come out, wherever you are." "Who's there?" we shouted. The voice repeated much louder this time. Come out, wherever you are." We turned and ran. We reached the stairs and we ran out as fast as we could. Today the hospital was gone, making way for new houses. The bodies of the children who died there were moved to another cemetery. The grave workers also found the body of Rosalie Frederick. Each of the children, including Rosalie, were given a funeral and buried in a churchyard not far from where the hospital once stood. My grandmother attended the funeral and I went along. I was terrified of seeing Rosalie's casket, but I knew that she would be happy to be with the children she adored. Whenever I walked past the former hospital grounds, I swore I could hear Rosalie's voice calling out to the children that she played with. Come out, wherever you are." Wow. Yeah, that's pretty sad. Maybe her soul won't rest until she actually finds the children. Good luck with that, though. Little does she know that they're right there next door to her, about like 3 feet apart, 6 feet apart. I don't know how the distance between graves, but yeah. Anyways, moving on.
Come on, why we were?
Shut the fuck up, Rosaline! Hey, there ain't no children here. Go back to sleep. This ain't no fucking hospital. Get the fuck out of here. Freaking bitch. Trying to scare me. Alright, next story. Japan suicide forest. Oh. Ugh. We had a bad start of the year due to this little freaking forest. I'm not gonna go into it. Anyways, it is apparent that every culture has had its fair share of ghost stories. There are also certain locations in various countries that stir superstition with the locals. One particular place has piqued my interest for a number of years now. A forest located in Japan at the base of Mount Fuji. Okujihara, or the Suicide Forest. I don't know if I spelled that right. Pronounced that right. Okujihara. Is the second most popular suicide location in the whole world. Wait, second? What's the first? Oh, I gotta do some research now. I want to know what the first is. Hence the title. Walking through this beautiful forest is very tranquil, and as hiking always is, relaxing in some ways. Explore enough of the off-beaten paths and crossing many no-entry signs. You will discover many macabre things? What the hell is that? Deserted campsites left as a statue in time. Although affected by Mother Nature, or if you are lucky as I, skeletal remains are of undiscovered corpses of the forgotten souls that chose to end their lives. That's sad. I lost pieces of my sanity from the amount of skulls I discovered, and in some cases, when discovering abandoned tents, family portraits took bites out of my heart. I did not want to trifle with with the instability of my emotions. It was my mistake to spend so much time mourning the loss of people I did not know. Yeah, it probably was. Suddenly the moon rose high in the sky and fear began to infest my soul. Being a foolish shitty boy, I let my curiosity get the better of me. I found myself lost in the denses of the forest. It is funny how quick panic sets in, especially when I remember Suicide Forest is supposedly haunted. It would not surprise me if that place is haunted. It really is, probably. With the amount of death reeking from the place, I was not surprised. Fearful, yes. You never know true darkness until you are surrounded by trees and civilization seems to be a mere fantasy. Ain't that the truth? To add to my stress, I neglected to bring a flashlight. I assured I would only visit the forest during the day as I knew it would be impossible to navigate through the dense woods at night. Even with the flashlight, it would be hard to have sensed the word direction. As sweat began making home to my brow, the ambient voices flooded my ears. There was an echoing of thousands of footsteps. I was petrified, not understanding not understanding what course of action to take. I began walking. In true horror fashion, I was suddenly at a no-entry sign, and looking down the path it blocked off. No, my eyes met a terrifying fright. Under the moonlight, there was the silhouette of two people nearly 10 feet away, blinking. Their insidious movements implied I was their prey. There was something surrounding their feet. My immediate assumption would have been rocks if I had not seen the glowing of a dozen pair of eyes. Heads? They were standing on a pile of heads. The girl I managed to make out picked up one of the heads and began stroking its hair as if it were a cat. That's lovely. She found a new best friend. Don't you just love happy endings? I started running as fast as I could. I only took a second to look behind me when I immediately struck a tree. At least that's what I told myself. She was a solid mass, but visually she did not resemble something alive. Red, dripping blood surrounded her blackened eyes. Her devilish smile reduced my legs to extra weight. I was unable to lift, and she collapsed her ghostly fingers around my throat. I noticed her pupils were milky white. Tilting my head back caused me to spasm. a male figure stood above us laughing at my anguish. He was also talking to the head the girl was stroking earlier, telling it,
"Look at how marvelous this is. She is an amazing woman."
The light finally began fading from my eyes. I heard the girl utter these words,
"Death is a welcoming affair. Can you not see how happy we are? This forest, under the moonlight, holds many wonders and terrors. You are a mere drop in the sea of blood running through the roots of each and every tree."
And that's it. Wow, that was dark. That was pretty scary, but that was mostly dark and sad. Wow. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys my story now. I'm gonna wrap this up now. Alright. So this is my story. It actually happened to me. This is true, people. Alright, I'm not making this up. Happened to me when I was in like the 5th grade. In this very house that I'm in right now. Whatchamacallit. Alright. So back in the 5th grade, I was staying up late watching TV. It was a school night, so I wasn't supposed to be doing that. The house I'm currently in is 2 stories, so if my room was upstairs, and my parents' room were down here in this room I'm in, and so they would sleep. So I waited for my parents to fall asleep down here, and then I go back upstairs and put on the TV and just lay there staying up all night. I wasn't supposed to be doing that, you know. Everybody knows that's a school night. And one night, the room I'm in, it was like completely dark, and the only light I had was from the TV. So if anybody walked by, you would see their shadow on the wall. All right. Oh, and also from the story, before I keep going, my grandpa died before I was born, guys. So I never got to meet the man. But he's a key in this story. So yeah. Anyways, I was staying up late. I was watching TV when all of a sudden I see a shadow walk past the TV and go across the wall, and I got scared because when I looked behind me, there was nobody there. There was nobody there at all. So I freaked out, and I turned off the TV and I went to bed. And I was like, forget this noise. All right, I'm going to bed. Please don't do anything. But I remember specifically when I saw the shadow, it looked like my grandpa, because I've seen photos of him, and my grandma tells me stories sometimes about him. And I've seen photos of him, and it looked just like him. So I was like, what the hell? I was scared, you know. So the next morning, I told my grandma about it, and she tells me that back when my grandpa was alive, he would wander around the house in the middle of the night, making sure everybody was alright, and that my mother and her sisters weren't staying up late doing anything bad. So yeah. After I heard that, I got the chills. Like, oh my god! Like, grandpa's still here, and he scared me last night, so that I would go to bed. So yeah, my grandpa's still here somewhere in this house, making sure people are behaving and not getting into trouble. Yeah, that's my little scary story that happened to me when I was little. Other than that, guys, if you have paranormal activity, things that happened to you when you were younger or anything now, feel free to tell me in the comments section. I'd love to hear your stories. If you have stories like mine, a story like mine. Other than that, though, guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, me reading this to you guys and my story, be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe if you're not already. If you like my content, if you love the mask, everything I do. And other than that, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. You know, the next video for sure will be zombies video, Black Ops 4 zombies. So stay tuned for that. And so yeah, other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.